Normally on this channel I do reviews on selfie sticks, but today I'm gonna do a unusual review that most of other YouTubers on this particular product, which is the GoPro Volta grip, have not done and not addressed. So I'm gonna address it in this video. You all know that the Volta grip is basically a grip with built-in tripod legs. As you can see in all the videos, this comes out and acts like a tripod, and it does have a 1/4" screw thread at the bottom. And I've attached these legs on here because I'm going to show you what the Volta can do and cannot do with some of these cameras. So that's what's not been addressed. Now we do know there's a battery unit within inside the Volta, and this is a remote control unit for your GoPro cameras. Now with the 9 and 10, you download the latest firmware. This is a GoPro Hero 9. You download the latest firmware and you can control, the Volta can control your camera in many functions, from anything from photographs to time lapses, so we all know that. For older cameras up from 6 or even less than 6, actually, I'll start off from 4 all the way up to the GoPro Hero 8, then you can simply just connect this via Bluetooth like if it was a remote control. So we know we can do that. But did you know that the Volta, since it's a power bank with inside a grip handle, also charges your GoPro at the same time? So we're gonna see, does it charge any of these other cameras at the same time? I know we're gonna lose out on the ability to use the function buttons on the Volta itself, especially with these point and shoot cameras and with the Insta360 R, and this will go for the One RS as well. And also we'll lose the ability with the Insta360 Go 2. Connect it also to the GoPro Hero Max or GoPro Max to see if we can control that. So we'll do that in the video. So I'm gonna start off. I won't start off with obviously the obvious choice, which is the GoPro Hero 9 and Stroke Hero 10. Put it to the back. Now we're gonna start off with the Max. Now I have placed the GoPro Hero Max on the Volta using the GoPro fingers here, as you can see, and straight away you can see that the actual Volta, and I'll try and get it up on camera folks, is charging the GoPro Max. So it does charge the GoPro Max using the same USB-C lead. Now I had to take the door off because obviously they only give you one door, and that's for the GoPro Hero 9 and 10. So for the Max, you're gonna have to buy the doors, but I haven't got that at the moment, so I've took the door off. Now, as you can see, you can still do the functions same as the other GoPro 9 on there, above there. It still operates, the Volta still operates the Max in the same way. The only thing different is that you have to connect the, in order to use these function buttons, you're going to have to use the traditional way of pairing, using the Bluetooth button, and pair your Volta to the GoPro Hero Max. But as you can see, if I press the mode button, we can go into different modes. If I go into the camera one and just press the record button, and it's counting down because the last setting I had this was on a self timer, but you can see it does that. And if I go into, press the mode button, go into video and press record, you can see there it is recording. Now, just in case, folks, you're wondering, why is your screen black? I have still got, because it's only a demonstration whether the Volta charges the Max and operates the Max, I just leave the covers on. So it's just the covers. If I remove the cover, take the cover off, there you can see, folks, there's a picture coming up. So it's just, the screen is only black because I've left the covers on. But yes, the Volta does charge the GoPro Hero Max. It does do that, and it can control it as well with the functions on here, exactly the same as the GoPro Hero 10 and 9. Just before I swap out the GoPro Hero Max for the Insta360 Go 2, as you can see, the Volta is charging the GoPro Hero Max just like the 9. Now we're going to press the mode button stroke power button and to see does it switch back on the GoPro Hero Max, because that's what I've left off. And if I keep my finger down on it, it's going to do it. That's it. It is now switched. It now switches it back on. Sorry folks, I'm tongue tied today. It's Easter and I had a bit of a drink session yesterday, so yes, so using the mode button and stroke power button, you can switch back on the GoPro Hero Max, and you can switch it off by holding it down. And as you can see, it's powering off the GoPro Hero Max. On the Volta grip, we've got the Insta360 Go 2. Now you can place the Insta360 Go 2 on the Volta, but you need to get one of these, which is a 1/4 inch screw thread to GoPro fingers or GoPro mount. So you need to get one of them obviously to screw that in, but you can do it and place the Insta360 Go on the Volta grip. Now as for charging, we all know that where the 360 folks, see, still tongue tied, where the actual 1/4 inch screw thread is, the actual charging port is there. Now I know it's such a bad idea that Insta did this, but the main thing with this video is we just want to see if the actual Volta grip charges the actual Go 2. Now we know we cannot use the remote. The remote does not work with this whatsoever, so there's no chance of that happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the Insta Go. I'm going to put the Volta grip on the tripod stand that I got on there just for demonstration purposes to show you, and we're going to connect up, bring that close to the camera folks, and we're going to connect up the actual thread connector here, the USB-C connector to the Insta360 Go 2. I'm going to spin that round. Now I place the Insta Go 2 on here, and you can see that there is no light coming on. I'll check the battery status just for you folks by pressing the battery status symbol here. And we still got 25% battery power in the Volta itself, and it is not charging the Insta360 Go 2. It doesn't charge it. Now next up, we're going to see if the Insta One R / One RS can be powered with the GoPro Volta. I'm going to see if I can try and pair the GoPro Volta remote with this, but the chances are I could bet a week's wages it won't connect, but I'll give it a go. Now I've placed the Insta One R / One RS on the GoPro Volta, and I'm going to flip it around to show you folks, because I think that's the best thing for me to do. Now the Volta does charge the One RS and the One R. It does charge it because we have a red light here, so it does charge it. I have placed it, and I know it's difficult to get it into focus folks, but I have placed it now on the settings onto Bluetooth remote, and I have paired the place the Volta into pairing mode here, and you can see that it's flashing and it cannot find the Volta. So I'm going to press the recycle button here, or the search button again, to search for other devices, and it cannot pick up the GoPro Volta whatsoever, so it won't pick it up. So that should answer some questions. Can you pair the Volta to the Insta360 One R or stroke One RS? And it is a no, you can't. But if I come out of this function here and return back to the screen, it does charge. And I'll try and get it into focus, folks, because I'm not using my regular phone, my regular camera for this video, because I'm going to use them as examples over here. I'll tap back on the screen. I'm using the iPhone 12 mini to videotape this, to make this video. It is charging it, and there is a little charge symbol in here, in this battery symbol. So the Volta does charge the Insta One R stroke One RS. It will charge it, but the functions of the buttons here doesn't work whatsoever. The Insta, the One R stroke One RS, cannot see this whatsoever. Even though this is working on Bluetooth, it can't seem to pair up with it. Now, one more thing before I go on to these point and shoot cameras or compact cameras, that the Volta, I had trouble with putting the Insta360 One R onto here is these teeth here, these GoPro fingers here. I think on the One R they're slightly a bit, just probably about 0.5 millimeter thicker than the GoPro ones. So when I placed them on here, I had to really try and shuffle the camera around to get them lined up to place the actual thumb screw on there. So just be aware of that. Now for the point and shoot camera, I'm gonna start off with this Sony DSC W500. So just to show you, which is just a standard Sony point and shoot camera. Obviously you have to get this particular adapter mount to fit the 1/4 inch screw thread. So I'm going to place that on there. So I've placed the Sony on there, and as you can see, as for a grip and using it for the tripod function, you can use the GoPro Volta for that. Now for the charging. Anybody who've had one of these Sony cameras, and that includes the ZV-1, it still uses the proprietary USB, micro USB, so it uses one of them. And we all know that the Volta uses a micro C then, uses a USB-C connector. Now in order for me to get to take the power from this to go into that camera, I'm gonna need an adapter. And this is the adapter that I bought. Now this is what they call a USB, micro USB to USB-C right angle adapter. Now you've got to be aware of this. There's a left angle adapter as well. Now what that normally means is, if you see the shape of the actual connector, the flat part here, the longest flat part is to the right hand side, and the actual bow part here, if you want to call it that, or angled part here, is to the left. So you need to have your adapter be on the right hand side. Opening the flap here, as you can see, looking at me, looking towards the camera here, the flat part here is on your left and the bow part is on the right, which that needs to be on the opposite sides so it can fit into here at an angle, so you can get this right angle to come down this way. Now I'm going to connect the Volta grip USB-C now to the angle. The Volta grip is now connected to the handle into the camera with this angle here adapter, and the adapter's all the way in. It may not look it, but it is all the way in. And as you can see on the battery meter here, or reading, there is no charge, no lightning bolt in there to say that this is charging. I'll click the battery. See, it's still got 25%. I'll switch it, give it a press to switch it on. A quick press or a long press, and you see it does not charge it. And another indicator that this is not charging the camera is there's normally an orange light that appears up in here to tell you that it's charging, and that is not coming on whatsoever. Now, for all the speculators out there thinking that there's something wrong with this angle plate, I'm going to use a standard power bank. Now, this is not a known named brand power bank. I've got this from my local B&M store, which is like the equivalent to the Dollar Tree in America. I bought this from there, so it just says simply a power bank. It's a 10,000 milliamp power bank, and I've got a cord which is a USB to USB-C lead here. I'm going to connect it to one of the outputs of the power bank. Place the power bank there, and just to show you that there is power in the power bank, press the button, the lights come on, so there is power in this power bank. I'm going to take off the Volta lead and place in the power bank lead. And now you can see it's going to be difficult, folks, to get this in because the angle is really, really funny. And as you can see, there's an orange light appear on the camera. So we do know that this angle adapter does work, and this power bank is charging this camera. So the Volta cannot charge this, I'd say, a standard point and shoot camera. And if I switch on the camera, actually, do you get it? Actually, there it is. You can see it's very difficult to get this into focus, folks, but it is there. There's a little picture of a power lead, of a plug here where the battery indicator is normally placed here. So it is that the Volta cannot charge this whatsoever. But because the Volta is running at 25%, what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge up the Volta to 100% and see do we still get does the outcome change, and that the Volta can charge up the camera here. Now, after an hour or two, I have charged up the Volta grip up to 100%, so I'll press the battery button, and there you can see we got 100% on the Volta. So I'm going to try that adapter again into the Sony DSCW500. Now, next up, I'm going to put the Sony ZV-1. This still uses, like the Sony over here, it still uses a micro USB port to charge. So we'll see if the Sony will charge with the Volta. It is a newer camera than the DSCW500, so we'll see if the Volta can charge this camera. I'm going to plug in the USB-C charging port to the adapter here. and we're going to look at the top of the Sony ZV-1, and there is no light coming on here, which when you're charging the Sony ZV-1, there's normally a little orange light, yellow stroke orange light here. I'll switch on the Sony ZV-1. And there it is, folks. It's still stating the battery light here. So it looks like the Volta does not charge the Sony ZV-1, but I'll switch it off. For all those people who think it's probably this adapter is at fault. Power bank I've showed you before with a USB-C connection to it. I'll plug that into the Sony ZV-1. And as you can see straight away, there's the orange light. So this 10,000 milliamp battery is charging the Sony ZV-1, and if I switch it on, and next to the battery icon here, there's a little plug light here, a little charge icon here. So the Sony ZV-1 can be charged with the power bank, no problem, but the Volta cannot charge the Sony ZV-1. Now this is my overall conclusion on what the Volta can charge and work with and what it can't work with or charge. And this is based on April 2022. The GoPros from 10 all the way back, it can charge the 10, the 9 and the 8. It will charge them, and you can use the actual buttons on the Volta to control the camera. Bear it in mind, after 8 on downwards, you're going to have to use the Bluetooth system on the Volta to connect to the camera. But if you got 9 and 10, you got no problems with that. It will recognize the Volta and work with it. If you've got the GoPro Max up to April 2022, now there may be a software update to the GoPro Max, so it recognizes the Volta straight off the bat and you don't have to connect it via Bluetooth. But at the present moment, in April 2022, you're going to have to connect it via Bluetooth to the GoPro Max, but it still charges it, still operates it just like the GoPro Hero 9. So them two in this camp here, that works and charges, that's good. The Insta One R or One RS, it doesn't recognize the Bluetooth on this at all. I've tried it, it doesn't recognize it whatsoever, but it charges the camera. So you can use this camera on there to keep a full charge, to keep the battery in the, keep the battery on the Insta One R and One RS charged, so it will do that. Now on the camp, on this camp here, on this side, these are the cameras up to April 2022 that do not work with the Volta. The Volta does not charge them whatsoever. First of all, it's the Insta360 Go 2. It doesn't work with it, it doesn't charge it. Even if you get yourself an adapter that raises the Go 2 slightly off the platform, off this platform, so you can able to get to the charging port, it doesn't charge the Go 2, so the Go 2 doesn't charge. Point and shoot camera, this is the, as I stated before, the Sony DSCW500. It is just a point and shoot camera. It doesn't charge it whatsoever. Even when you've got an adapter, it doesn't charge it whatsoever. And the same with the Sony ZV-1, which is like a mirrorless camera. It doesn't charge that neither. So when it comes to your standard point and shoot cameras, and they happen to have a micro USB, male connector that they need to connect to the female side. This, even with an adapter, the Volta doesn't recognize them whatsoever. There must be something in the Volta here that recognizes these and doesn't charge them whatsoever, doesn't give out a charge. Now, if you happen to have a point and shoot camera or a mirrorless camera that happens to run on USB-C and you happen to have the Volta, please let us know, for the other YouTubers and people who watch this video, if it does charge those kind of cameras on there, because if it does, that's great. Obviously we don't expect the function of the Volta to work, but at least it will charge them. But as a hand grip, it's a solid hand grip, and I do like how it's ergonomic and that you can also double it up as a tripod. Now I hope that this video is helpful. It is a different perspective on the Volta than the other videos that just show you how the Volta works with the GoPro Hero 10 and 9. So it's just a different perspective, just in case people are wondering, well, if this is just a battery bank in there, would it able to charge these other cameras? Just to answer those people's questions. Thanks for watching the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. I perfectly understand my videos can be long, but I like to go into detail on the item or the product, so when you get it, you know what to expect. Please subscribe to my channel if you like the channel. I'll be grateful for that, and I'll see you next time.